It's late, and your mind is still running hours behind you. Put on your headphones, minimize this screen, and let it play. You do not need to finish today before you are allowed to rest. This is a 20-minute audio protocol to quiet a racing mind. Almost everybody knows this particular hour. The lights are off, and somehow that's when the mind gets loud. So I want to just sit here with you for a bit and talk through something. Nothing complicated, just an old way of thinking about nights like this one that people have been leaning on for a couple thousand years, long before any of us had this exact problem with this exact shape. There's a kind of tired that has nothing to do with your body. You can be completely worn out and still lying there wide awake because some part of you has decided the day isn't done yet. It's still open, still being reviewed. There was a Roman emperor who used to write himself private notes just to work things out on paper the way some of us do at midnight. Marcus Aurelius. And one line of his has outlasted the empire he ran. We suffer more from our opinion of what happened than from what actually happened. Pause on that. It's a subtle distinction, but it changes everything. The storm that floods the valley is the same water that keeps the forest alive. The same wind that scatters the dry leaves is what turns the sails of the mill. The weather is just the weather. It has no intent. It doesn't know you are there. Our experience of it is entirely determined by what we needed the weather to be. And most of what ruins your day isn't actually the day itself. It is the gap between reality and expectation. The disappointment you felt this morning? It wasn't in the event. It was in the collapse of a plan you had already decided was supposed to go perfectly. What if most of us don't actually suffer from reality, but from the script we wrote for it instead? You can't undo what happened today, but the story you're telling yourself about it, the script you are still holding on to, that one, you actually have some hand in. But not tonight necessarily. You don't need to rewrite it right now. Just noticing that it's a story and not the event itself. That tends to loosen something on its own. If your mind's doing that thing right now, circling something, here's a small thing you can try without even getting up. Take whatever feels loudest in your head, just the one thing, and ask it a pretty plain question. Is this actually mine to carry? Or does it just feel that way because it's loud? Your coworker's mood tomorrow morning isn't yours. What you said 3 hours ago already happened, so there's nothing left to do with it tonight. Whether someone approved of a decision you made, that was never really yours either. What is yours is what you do next, how you show up, what you choose tomorrow. The Stoics had a name for this line, the space between what's actually in your hands and what only feels like it is. And most of what steals a night's sleep lives on the wrong side of that line. It only feels urgent. It was never actually yours to hold. Try it, quietly, with whatever's loudest for you right now. You don't have to solve it, just sort it into one side or the other. Notice, if you can, how much lighter the not mine pile feels, even though nothing about the actual situation has changed yet. Here's the part I actually most want you to hear. You don't owe tonight a conclusion. Somewhere along the way, a lot of us picked up this quiet, unspoken rule that if something's unresolved, we're supposed to keep turning it over until it clicks. Even at midnight, even half asleep, even when there's genuinely nothing to be done about it until the sun's back up. Seneca wrote about closing each day almost like closing a door, not slamming it, not leaving it wide open either, just closing it. Whatever's inside stays inside until you open it again tomorrow on purpose, when you actually have something to do about it. You're allowed to do that tonight. The email you should have sent, the way that conversation landed, the version of tomorrow you're already bracing for. None of it needs you right now, in this bed, in the dark. It'll be exactly as solvable in the morning as it is at this moment. Nothing gets worse while you sleep on it. Almost everything gets a little clearer. So, if there's something circling, you don't have to fight it, and you don't have to solve it either. You can just tell it gently. Not now. Not because it doesn't matter. Just because it isn't time yet. If your mind is still running, don't try to force it quiet. Just bring your attention to the simplest thing happening right now, your breath. You don't have to breathe for tomorrow. You just have to follow this single one, coming in and letting it go. 2,000 years ago, the Stoics noticed something very simple. When you slow down your breath, your mind follows. Today, modern biology has a name for why their ancient practice works. When you make your exhales longer than your inhales, you physically stimulate a deep nerve pathway. Think of it as a built-in brake pedal for your nervous system. The moment you gently step on that pedal, your brain gets a physical signal to lower your heart rate, drop your blood pressure, and dial down the mental volume. You aren't just tricking your mind into being calm. You are physically switching your body out of survival mode. Your body realizes there is no emergency here, no threat to react to. You are just in your bed, and the day is over. Now try taking just one breath, slightly deeper than the last one, all the way in, and then let it out as slowly as you can, letting that exhale carry the weight of the day away. You don't have to do this perfectly, and you don't have to do it for long. Just a single quiet moment to anchor yourself here, instead of letting your thoughts carry you away. Before we close tonight, there is one last thing. Think back on today. Even if it was heavy or chaotic or just exhausting, something small happened that didn't have to. A warm cup of tea, a message from someone out of the blue, or just a single quiet minute where you realized you could stop bracing yourself against the world. Don't search too hard for it. If nothing comes to mind right now, that is completely fine. But if a small moment does surface, just hold it in your mind for a second. We aren't doing this to balance the scales or pretend the hard parts of your day didn't happen. Today was what it was, and it is over. We are just acknowledging that this quiet moment was real too, and it belongs to you. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire through plagues, betrayal, and endless wars. He carried weights most of us will never have to know. Yet, in the quiet of his tent at night, he still wrote about the small, unnecessary beauties of life. The way a loaf of bread cracks in the oven, or the ripening of a fig in the sun. If he could find those quiet, simple gifts in the middle of all that chaos, there is likely one waiting in your day too. So that's where I want to leave you tonight. Today doesn't need to be finished for you to be allowed to rest. What isn't yours to carry, you can set back down. And nothing that's still unresolved needs an answer from you right now. It'll still be there tomorrow, waiting exactly where you left it. The night was never actually asking anything of you. That was always just a story your mind tells itself around this hour, and stories, even convincing ones, are allowed to wait until morning. Let your breath keep doing what it's already doing on its own. Let today close, gently, like a door you don't need to lock behind you. And let everything else wait. It was always going to be there either way. Rest well. This has been The Logic of Calm.